Welcome guys, Matt from Total Drummer, and this video discusses some of the top tips to become a session drummer. Alright guys, so hit subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date with all the drum related videos that are coming out. But this one we're talking about becoming a session drummer. I get asked about this by students quite a lot, and quite often those students are focusing on, you know, double bass drum, 16th notes at 200 BPM, or just all the crazy chop stuff, all the sort of Instagram stuff that's going to get you, you know, some likes. But actually those aren't often the skills, and the skills you need to become a session drummer and make a living out of drumming are a little bit less glamorous, a little bit less sexy, a little bit less appealing, but actually are much more important if you had to choose, you know. And in fact, you don't have to choose, but you definitely need to get these things down first before you start doing all that other stuff. All right, so if we think of some of those top session drummers that spring to mind, you might think of the likes of Jeff Porcaro, or Steve Gadd, or Kenny Aronoff, or Hal Blaine if we go back even further. Or in the UK you might think of Ralph Sammins, or you might think of Ash Sohn. So I mean the list is very big. There's just some that have sprung to mind there. And if we think about those, what they're known for isn't the crazy chops that are quite appealing and quite fun to practice. They might have those skills in the back pocket for when they need them, but those aren't necessarily the skills that they getting employed for. In fact, they're not the skills they're getting employed for. They rarely need those skills. I mean, you could look at someone like Vinny. Obviously he's a session drummer, he has more skills than anyone, but often those aren't necessarily what he's being employed for either. You know, there's a whole load of stuff that's far more important than those are the icing on the cake that put him up there on his own level, on his Vinny level. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that all of those guys have, so let's dive in and look at some of them. Let me tell you a bit about the scene. She is living in... This is one, maybe this is the main one. And I'll tell you what I really notice, you know, when you see a top drummer play a very basic groove, which is, you know, 95% of what we have to play as drummers, they make it sound like the best thing ever. You know, just get them to lay it down with 2 and 4 on the snare, 1 and 3 on the bass drum, and it's just a feel that makes it sound awesome. And if you think about the other musicians that are going to be playing them, that's going to feel nice for them to play to. It's going to be nice for the audience. So just getting the simple stuff down, making it feel awesome, is probably the main thing. Right, great timing. I mean, a majority of studio work is done to a click. It's actually quite unusual if you don't play to a click in the studio these days. But more than that, live work. Increasingly, drummers are playing along with backing tracks or sequencing stuff. There's samples going off, and maybe the rest of the band don't even have the click, but the drummer does. Or even if the band has it, the drummer's always going to have it. So it's really important you can play with a click, but more than that, be really comfortable so you can play around the click and make it feel really natural. You can't avoid the click. A vast knowledge of music is really important. So I do a lot of recording, it's kind of remote sessions from this room. So you know, this is often done by email to people all around the world, and quite often people just send it in an email. I don't even talk to them, and they might say, "Give me a Bonham feel," or they might be like, "Give it a kind of greasy New Orleans feel." Now, if I've never heard of John Bonham, or I don't know what that New Orleans thing is, this is just gobbledygook, right? So the more you know about music, the wider you listen, the more you study it, the more you practice different styles, the greater that depth of knowledge. And you can just delve into it and pull stuff out. Or even if people don't ask for it, you've got it up there. So you might be like, oh yeah, a New Orleans thing would really work well here. Let me try that. So you've got that knowledge and you can bring it to the table. Play for the song. All right, so this is a big one, but you know, everything you do should make the song better. So it's not there to kind of make you look better. So it's so tempting, right? I've definitely done it. You've done it. Come on, be honest. You've done it. I've done it. We've all done it. You've been practicing that awesome thing. And that awesome thing is going into this song, whether it's in the right tempo, the right style, who cares? That thing's going in because it's awesome and you spent 15 hours practicing it. But you've got to get away from that. And you have to just talk yourself out of it sometimes. And as I say, I've done it. You've got to be serving the song. So what can you do to make the song better? Sometimes that might be play nothing. You know, there might be periods where you don't play. And then when you do, it's got the right impact. But then what mood are you creating? Listen to the lyrics. What message are they trying to convey? Or what atmosphere are they trying to convey? Where's the emphasis? You know, so really listen to the song and always play for the song and not to make you look awesome. A command of many styles is also really important. I mean, you do get specialists in there. You do get those guys that are just like, that's all they play. They play that one thing and they're really good at it, and they dominate that genre. But for most people, you're really limiting your chances of getting work, it's particularly if you want to make a career out of it. The more styles you know, the better. And don't think just because you don't play on a jazz gig, you won't get some jazz or some reggae. It might be a rock song and suddenly they'll just drop some of that in there. So that can happen. All right, so just, know all styles, even just on a basic level. So when needed, you can pull out your little Afro-Cuban groove or your jazz groove and you can get through it. Sight reading. So I know there are drummers out there who make a great career without sight reading, but I just think you're closing so many doors. There are loads of gigs out there only available to sight reading drummers. But more than that, in the studio, time is money. You want to work fast. So I'll often make a cheat sheet, and just being able to write and read music means I can do that very, very quickly, learn the song fast and get on with playing it. There is a course actually if you want to learn to sight read. I'll put a link below this video. It's a sight reading course. It takes you from complete beginner and teaches you how to read note values and gets you up to a good level. But either way, I definitely think if you're serious about this, you need to read music. Great sounding drums. This is kind of important, guys. So you might be the best drummer in the world, but everything you do, or your knowledge or your ideas or your skills have to come through your instrument. If your drums sound terrible, then you're going to kind of sound terrible as well. So making sure your equipment sounds awesome, and also making sure you can change sounds quickly. So if it needs a more resonant snare or less resonant snare or toms or a deeper tuning, you know how to get there quickly. A fun, stress-free personality. No one wants a whinge bag in the room. That's not going to help. If things can get a bit tense in the studio, things aren't going well, people want someone to lighten the mood. So don't bring loads of problems to it. Remember, you're a hired hand. You've got to make the situation better. So always be positive. Be someone that finds solutions rather than creates problems. Just be an awesome dude. Ability to work fast. So as we said, time is money in the studio. So, finding your sounds quickly, learning the songs quickly, maybe doing your cheat sheets. So this is all really important. No one wants to be waiting around while you spend hours trying to figure stuff out. So learning the song, learning the structure, getting good sounds, but also coming up with ideas. Don't be afraid to try things, but try and get there quite quickly. Find the part that works. Really listen, think about how you can make that song sound better. Just get your job, be efficient, be slick. People will call you back. No ego. This is not about you, or it is a little bit. We know it's mainly about the drummers, but when you're a session guy, you're the hired hand, so you can't be making a fuss, you can't be causing problems, and don't take it too personally. If someone says that thing that you didn't work, that's fine. It just means it didn't work. It doesn't mean you're a terrible human being. So don't throw a tantrum. Just figure out how you can make it work. Quite often I get some mad stuff because the artist might not be musically trained. They might not really know what they want. So they're trying to convey this kind of vague creative idea in their head that they can't even properly describe. And they'll use some weird, different colours, different moods to try and tell me what drum beat I need to play. And I'll be there going, yeah, I know what you mean. And I haven't got a clue what they mean. But you're just trying to interpret what they're looking for sometimes. And it's not always easy. And sometimes that can be kind of stressful, but you just got to keep it light, try and figure out the thing that they want. Maybe it's something they don't even know yet. So you could try something else, try some other ideas. They might love that. So, don't have an ego, work with people, and don't take it too personally. All right, now we've got the skills down. What stuff can you do? What action can you take to increase your chances of being a session drummer? Be in the right town. So it might sound a bit obvious, but where are the gigs? Where are the sessions? It might be London in the UK. It might be Nashville or New York or LA. Just if you're serious about doing this, you might just want to get close to that musical hub so you are near the action. Work your contacts. Now, I don't know about you, but I hate those kind of networky, smarmy dudes. You never feel like they're listening to you. They're looking over your shoulder like, oh, who's really important I should be talking to next? I hate that stuff. It makes my skin crawl. But I think there is some merit in doing it. You need to get out there. You need to talk to people, the people you know, make new contacts. Let people know who you are, what you're about, what you do, what you want to do. If you want gigs, let them know about it. Put yourself out there, let people know, and stuff will start coming your way. So get in there with the local music shops. You know, there's a music scene there. I know so much has moved online, but there's still awesome music shops doing an amazing job, and they create a real community of people. Who knows who's going to walk into that music shop tomorrow and happen to mention that they need a drummer for a tour or a recording or a gig. And if you've been talking to the guys at the music shop and they know you, they're going to put you forward. So make connections with them. That is your local musical hub. If you've got a local label, same thing as with the music shops. Let them know you exist. Befriend them, get in there, help out when you can, offer your services. Who knows when a drummer is going to be needed in the studio and they're going to call you. Right, get known on the online forums. If there's songwriting forums or producer forums, just kind of be in those places, you know, just like we're talking about getting known in the music shops and local labels. Work online, especially if, as I said earlier, I do a lot of online session stuff. So my potential audience, or, you know, the people that are going to employ me are global. They're not in my hometown. So get out there online, let people know what you're doing, that you're around, what you can do. Who knows where your next job's going to come from? Create an online presence. You know, today you can't not have one. So, you know, you're going to want a website. It's kind of like your shop window of your services. So you can put on there whatever you do, put recording credits, videos of you playing. If you do some teaching, that could be on there. This is where you can really showcase everything you do and be in control of it. But of course, you can use the other platforms that exist, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channel, whatever you want. You know, these days you definitely need to be thinking about creating a pretty cool online presence, and you can send people there. If you've got it on a business card, they can just go straight in there, check you out. It's going to get you more work. All right, guys, I hope these tips helped. Remember, hit subscribe if you haven't already, because there's loads more videos coming and you want to see them. I know you want to see them. Leave comments below. I'd love to hear some other tips and things that have worked for you or that you think could work, or if you've got any questions, let's have a chat. This is just a conversation about some tips that are going to help you get out there and get some work as a session drummer.